5 car wash soaps are stripping the protection off your paint every time you wash, and some of them cost more than the ones that actually work. The average American spends $360 a year on car washes, according to a 2025 Synchrony survey, and most of that money goes toward products that leave their paint worse off than before. This is the breakdown of what to avoid, what to buy instead, and the protection system that makes the difference between paint that lasts and paint that fades. After this video, you will know more about car wash chemistry than 90% of car owners, and most of the people selling these products. Let's start with the ones you need to throw out. Dawn dish soap is the shortcut almost everyone has heard about, but it is one of the fastest ways to strip away the protection you actually paid for. The numbers tell the story. Dawn Ultra's official safety data sheet lists its pH at 9 to 10. That is not just a little alkaline, it is 2 to 3 times more basic than pH-neutral car shampoos, engineered to preserve wax, sealant, and ceramic coatings. High pH and aggressive surfactants like sodium lauryl sulfate are designed to break down tough kitchen grease. On your car, that same chemistry attacks the fatty acid bonds in wax, accelerates the breakdown of polymer sealants, and can even speed up the hydrolysis of the clear coat's cross-linked network. Lab studies show sodium lauryl sulfate can reduce wax hardness by up to 30% after a single wash, and repeated washes at this pH level leave your paint exposed to the elements. Dawn's own FAQ spells it out. It is made for dishes, not for automotive finishes. The company explicitly warns against using it on paint or clear coat. No amount of marketing or word of mouth changes the fact that the manufacturer itself says to keep it away from your car. Even Kelley Blue Book has echoed the warning, noting that dish soap is a last resort for strip washing before a full correction, not for maintenance. Using it every week is like paying twice, once for the soap, and again for the paint correction, wax, or sealant reapplication you will need to fix the damage. This is the pattern you will see with so-called bargain wash products. The wrong soap costs you money, both upfront and down the line. And it is not just Dawn, any high alkaline household cleaner brings the same risk. If you care about the value of your vehicle and want protection that actually lasts, the evidence is clear. Ditch the dish soap and reach for a dedicated, pH-balanced car shampoo. That is the first step to keeping your paint glossy, protected, and out of the body shop. Palmolive is another kitchen staple that often finds its way into car wash buckets, but its pH tells the real story. The official range is 10 to 10.6, which is even more alkaline than Dawn. It is not an outlier. Most household dish soaps, laundry detergents, and all-purpose cleaners are built to attack grease and stains, not to protect delicate automotive finishes. The chemistry behind these products is simple. High alkaline formulas break down fats and oils in the kitchen, but on your car, that same action dissolves the waxes and sealants meant to shield your paint from water, UV rays, and road grime. Over time, repeated exposure to these cleaners does not just dull the shine. It can accelerate the breakdown of trim plasticizers, dry out rubber seals, and even erode the clear coat that stands between your paint and the elements. The detailing community has seen the consequences firsthand. On the Bob is the Oil Guy forum, one user chronicled the loss of 15 layers of wax after just a few washes with Palmolive, proof that the damage is not theoretical. These harsh household cleaners create a false sense of savings for budget-conscious drivers. The few dollars you save on soap are quickly erased by the cost of reapplying wax, fixing faded trim, or worse, paying for paint correction. Manufacturers design car shampoos with neutral pH and specialized lubricants for a reason, to clean without stripping away the layers you paid to protect. When you reach for a kitchen cleaner, you are trading short-term convenience for long-term expense. The evidence is clear. If you want your car's finish to last, skip the shortcuts and stick with products made for the job. Armor All Extreme Shield Ceramic Car Wash stands out as a hard lesson for anyone who believes every bottle with a flashy label is safe for your paint. Hundreds of owners posted warnings in Home Depot and Walmart reviews describing the same nightmare: permanent streaks, milky residue, and a matte haze that refuses to come off. This is not just about losing a bit of shine or having to reapply wax. One documented case involved a single wash that left deep streaking so severe the owner paid $200 for professional correction, more than the cost of a year's worth of premium car shampoo. That is not rare. The negative reviews add up to a pattern, not a fluke. Some users reported streaks that would not budge with any follow-up wash, forcing hours of hand polishing or paying a detailer to try to reverse the damage. The problem is baked into the product's chemistry. Armor All Extreme Shield markets itself as a ceramic-infused wash, but the formula leaves behind a film that bonds unevenly to the clear coat. Instead of boosting gloss or water beading, it can create visible lines and patches, especially on darker paint colors. When this film dries, it does not just wipe away. It clings, amplifying every swirl and making the finish look older by years. In some cases, even clay bars and paint cleaners could not fully erase the marks. Armor. All's streaking problem is a warning no car owner should ignore. The cost is not just cosmetic, it is real money out of your pocket and lost time in your garage. When a wash soap can turn a routine cleaning into a repair bill, it is not just a bad value, it is a product to avoid. If you want to protect your paint and your wallet, skip the marketing buzz and stick with proven, pH-balanced shampoos that clean without leaving scars. Strip wash soaps are the silent saboteurs of car care, products designed for a specific job but capable of undoing months of protection if used the wrong way. These soaps are not inherently bad. In fact, they are engineered to remove stubborn contaminants that regular shampoos cannot touch. The problem comes when they are treated like everyday wash soap. Instead of a deep clean before reapplying wax or prepping for paint correction, strip washes get used week after week. That is where the damage starts. The chemistry behind strip washes is no accident. Many formulas rely on higher alkalinity and aggressive surfactants, sometimes pushing pH well above the safe neutral zone. That is exactly what you want when you need to strip away old wax, embedded road film, or residues before a full detail. But as a routine wash, that same aggressive action does not just lift dirt, it erodes the waxes, sealants, and even the ceramic coatings you pay to protect. Overuse breaks down the hydrophobic layer, flattens water beading, and exposes clear coat to ultraviolet radiation and environmental fallout far sooner than expected. Professional detailers have seen it play out. A car that should bead water for 6 months starts losing protection in 6 weeks. The distinction is simple but essential. Decontamination washes are a reset button, not a maintenance routine. If you are reaching for a strip wash every time you clean your car, you are paying for protection and then washing it down the drain. The smarter move is to reserve strip washes for those rare occasions when you actually want to remove everything before a new layer goes on. For weekly care, stick with a pH neutral, lubricating shampoo designed to preserve, not destroy your investment. A label promising pH balanced or ceramic infused rarely reveals the chemistry that actually matters for a car's finish. While pH often takes center stage, it is only part of the story. True pH-neutral shampoos, sitting between 6.5 and 7.5, are designed to avoid the harshness that strips away waxes and sealants. Yet the number alone does not guarantee safety. The real difference lies in how surfactants, the molecules that lift dirt, behave once the soap hits the paint. In kitchens, surfactants break down grease. On a car, the wrong kind can dissolve the fatty acid bonds in wax or attack the ester links in polymer sealants. Some soaps, even those labeled gentle, use aggressive surfactants that quietly erode protection, regardless of their pH. 2 bottles with identical pH can leave wildly different results. One preserves wax, the other erases it over time. Lubrication is just as critical. A well-formulated soap creates a slick barrier between the wash mitt and paint, suspending grit and reducing the risk of swirl marks. Cheaper or multi-purpose washes often skimp on lubrication, increasing the chance of micro-scratches, even if they claim to be pH balanced. Data from detailing forums shows high lubricity soaps consistently maintain gloss and minimize swirls, especially after repeated use. Hydrophobic performance is the practical test. When water beads and rolls off after rinsing, protection remains. If water clings or sheets flat, the soap is stripping away wax or sealant. Lab results confirm this. A drop in water contact angle from 100 degrees to 70 degrees after 10 washes signals clear loss of protection. Chemistry, not just claims, shapes the outcome. Water tells the truth about your paint's protection. No marketing copy required. The moment you rinse your car, the way water sits or moves on the surface reveals exactly what's left behind after every wash. The science comes down to contact angle. When a drop of water lands on protected paint, it should bead up, forming a tight, round droplet. This is hydrophobic behavior, and it is the visible sign that wax, sealant, or ceramic coating is still doing its job. A high contact angle, typically above 90 degrees, means strong beading, the kind you want to see after a fresh application. If you notice water forming near perfect spheres, that is a sign your protective layer is healthy. But not all water movement is created equal. There is a clear difference between beading and sheeting. Beading is when water pulls into small, high-domed droplets that roll off with the slightest tilt or a burst of air. Sheeting, on the other hand, happens when water clings, spreads out, and slides away in flat sheets. While sheeting can look clean, it actually signals that the surface has lost its hydrophobic edge. Protection is fading or gone. Dr. Beasley's detailing guides point to this exact check. After a wash, spray or pour water onto the hood or roof, then watch. If droplets stand tall and roll off easily, your wax or coating is still active. If water flattens out or sticks, it is time to reapply protection before ultraviolet and contaminants start attacking bare paint. This is not just a trick for pros. Anyone can do it at home, no tools required. After each wash, take a minute to observe how water behaves on your panels. A drop in beading or a shift to sheeting is your early warning that protection is wearing thin. No need to rely on claims from the bottle. Your own eyes will tell you when it is time for a fresh layer. Making this quick check part of your routine means you will catch problems before they cost you gloss, money, or hours in the garage. In the end, water behavior is the most honest review your paint will ever get. Titan coatings put the numbers front and center. After 20 washes, standard car soap cut water repellency by 40%. A ceramic safe wash, on the other hand, lost only 5%. That's not a small difference. It's the gap between keeping your paint protected for half a year or watching your investment vanish in a month. The lesson is simple. The right soap isn't just about making suds. It's about what's left behind after every rinse. When it comes to real-world testing, DFB's 37 soap benchmark has become a touchstone for detailers and enthusiasts. With 25 years of hands-on experience, DFB built a public methodology that grades each soap on cleaning power, lubrication, foam quality, and protection retention. Koch Chemie GSF stands at the top of his chart with a perfect 10 out of 10. CarPro Reset, a favorite among ceramic coating users, follows close behind at 9 out of 10. At the other end, Autoglym's Bodywork shampoo slumps in with 1 out of 10, dragged down by poor lubrication and weak cleaning. That spread isn't just academic, it's the difference between a soap that helps your wax or coating last, and one that quietly erases it over a few weekends. But the chemistry goes deeper than a pH label. CarPro Reset clocks in at pH 7, which sounds gentle, but its surfactant blend is 10 to 20% more aggressive than Koch Chemie GSF at pH 7.5. Surfactant chemistry, not just pH, determines how much protection gets stripped away. That's why GSF has earned praise from both lab testers and enthusiasts. Matt from Obsessed Garage described GSF as slick, with foam that feels like shaving cream, thick cushioning, and able to lift grit off the paint without grinding it in. That slickness isn't a gimmick. It's the difference between a wash mitt gliding safely and one dragging microscopic scratches across your clear coat. The data doesn't lie. When you choose a soap, you're not just buying a bottle, you're buying weeks or months of protection for your car's finish. High-performing soaps like Koch Chemie GSF and CarPro Reset cost a little more upfront, but at typical dilution rates, each wash comes out to just a few cents. That's a fraction of the price of a new bottle of wax, let alone a paint correction job. The evidence is clear. The right soap is the foundation of any long-term protection system, and the best ones have the numbers, the chemistry, and the real-world results to back them up. Transparency is rare in the world of car wash soaps, but Adams Polishes lists 10% silicon dioxide on the label of their wash and coat. That is a clear step above most competitors who either hide their ceramic content or settle for formulas likely below 3%. For comparison, a true professional ceramic coating contains 93 to 97% silicon dioxide, an entirely different category of protection. The gap is not just academic, it is the difference between a soap that adds a fleeting gloss and a coating that shields your paint for years. This is not just marketing. Fresh Layer Mobile Detailing, a practitioner with over 1,200 vehicles under their belt, has seen firsthand that no wash soap, no matter the silicon dioxide percentage, stands alone as a long-term shield. Even the best ceramic-infused shampoos cannot match the durability of a dedicated coating or a spray sealant. The numbers tell the story. After a few washes, that thin silicon dioxide layer from a soap is gone, while a proper coating continues to repel water and block contaminants. Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions proves that real-world results do not have to break the bank. At $11 to $15 per bottle, it consistently delivers measurable water beading and gloss. Making it a favorite among budget-conscious owners, the value comes from performance, not empty promises. But even here, the soap is just one piece of the puzzle. The myth that a single product can protect paint for 6 months is finally put to rest. Lasting protection comes from a system. Start with a dedicated ceramic coating or a spray sealant as your foundation. Wash with a maintenance soap that preserves that base, and use a periodic boost spray to top up hydrophobic performance. Skip any one step and you are leaving your paint exposed. The evidence is clear. No wash soap alone can deliver the long-term results that professional detailers and savvy owners demand. Right now, your paint faces more risk from overhyped soaps than from road salt. The difference between a $15 jug that strips wax and a $20 bottle that preserves silicon dioxide is proven in both laboratory pH tests and thousands of real-world reviews. Protection isn't a label, it's a system. Every wash is a choice. You can wash away your investment, or you can protect it. Let me know which route you are taking in the comments.